The sound of gunfire was heard. As soon as my cousin stepped outside the house, he was hit by a bullet.
कोई रास्ता नहीं मिला, अब कोई रास्ता मुझे नजर नहीं आ रहा। बलूचिस्तान पॉइंट ऑफ नो रिटर्न से बहुत आगे जा चुका है। उसके जिम्मेदार यहाँ के हुक्मरान, यहाँ की रियासत, यहाँ की रियासती इदारे, बलूचिस्तान के लोग हैं।
They want us to surrender. We will not. This country is ours. This is our motherland. We'll fight for it.
No one is safe. Anyone who leaves home has no certainty of returning safe and sound.
On the 31st of January, Pakistan saw one of its largest attacks by Baloch rebels in decades. Rebels from the Balochistan Liberation Army, or BLA, carried out coordinated suicide bombings across Balochistan, targeting police, military and paramilitary installations, marking one of the deadliest days in the province. On the 15th of February, BLA claimed it has detained 17 Pakistani soldiers and has released 10, but it gave the Pakistani government an ultimatum of 1 week to arrange a prisoner swap for the remaining 7. It has warned that the detainees could face execution if negotiations do not take place within that period. The BLA has initiated the operation, named Operation Herof, and conducted a trial alleging civilian attacks, enforced disappearances and genocide against the Baloch people. In recent weeks, a surge of enforced disappearances have been reported from Balochistan, Karachi and adjoining regions, with more Baloch citizens allegedly taken away by Pakistani security agencies. So what about the forced disappearances in Pakistan? Are the disappearances in Balochistan linked to Pakistan's security apparatus? Why have Pakistan's forces become handicapped in Balochistan? What is Operation Herof 2.0? Will Islamabad surrender to Balochistan? Where is Balochistan and why is it important to Pakistan? All these and more on WION Wideangle this week. Pakistan's latest surge of violence in Balochistan reflects a deepening security crisis. The Pakistani government has been issued a renewed warning by the Balochistan Liberation Army, or BLA. On the 16th of February, BLA also warned that 6 days remain for Islamabad to respond to its demand for a prisoner exchange. The statement follows a message released a day prior through its media wing, Hakkal. A video purportedly released alongside the claims shows at least 7 men in Pakistan military uniforms on their knees while armed men from BLA surround them. The video also shows arms and ammunition that the group claims were confiscated from Pakistani soldiers during the operation. However, the authenticity of the footage could not be independently verified. BLA said that they had detained a total of 17 personnel belonging to Pakistani security forces across different operational fronts during the operation. BLA stated that 10 of those detained were released following warnings because they were identified as ethnic Baloch. The group said the decision to release those individuals was taken in consideration of what it described as ground realities, local identity and the interests of the Baloch population. And the remaining 7 detainees, according to the BLA statement, are members of regular units of the Pakistani army. BLA said these individuals remain in its custody and were subjected to proceedings by what it calls a Baloch National Court. Over several days, BLA unleashed what it calls Operation Herof Phase 2.0. This consisted of coordinated attacks in both major towns and remote districts of Balochistan, including suicide attacks, armed assaults and arson. Pakistani officials claim more than 130 militants were killed in 48 hours alone earlier in the month of February. However, the BLA has refuted these official claims and reiterated that it inflicted severe casualties on Pakistan forces. So, what is Herof? Reportedly, Herof is a Balochi literary term meaning black storm, and it is commonly used in Baloch poetry. The BLA first used the term in August 2024, launching Herof 1.0 with attacks across 12 districts. That campaign shocked authorities by striking areas previously considered relatively stable, including Las Bela and Musakeel, and by introducing a female suicide bomber into the group's operations. So Herof Phase 2.0 expands on that very template. Violence has been geographically reported in Quetta, Noshki, Mastung, Kalat, Karan, Panjgur, Gwadar, Pasni, Turbat, Kesh and Awaran. Suicide bombings, vehicle-borne explosives and armed assaults were used, and for the first time women are reported to be participating in direct combat roles alongside men.
The situation is very bad, especially on the Saryab road. There's firing happening repeatedly and it's tough out there. All shops and the entire system are shut down today. Nothing's working.
The situation in the city has been bad since around dawn. Sounds of explosions and firing can be heard, and when we entered the city, roads were blocked in many places, causing a lot of difficulty for people to move around.
BLA said it had previously offered exchanges on several occasions, but alleged that Pakistani authorities had not pursued them and had ignored the lives of their personnel. At the BLA's Operation Herof Phase 2.0, female suicide bombers played a key role. The early Baloch insurgency was male-dominated, with suicide attacks being a rare sight. However, since 2022, Baloch groups have embraced suicide missions and placed women at the forefront. In April 2022, the BLA carried out the first confirmed female suicide bombings in the Baloch insurgency, followed by more cases over the next 3 years. And in January this year, reportedly, there were at least 2 suicide bombers among 6 women who participated in the group's largest wave of attacks. These multiple attacks nearly brought the province to a standstill.
They have really embarked on this shameless campaign of abducting women. So, we have experienced that they desecrate our fallen warriors. And therefore, many women have chosen, or many people have chosen to, self-sacrifice because of them desecrating our fallen soldiers. So this is, again, a shift in the tactic of the Baloch fighters. And the reason behind this is because we face a coward army, which cannot face people honorably, which has no ethics of war.
Now, let's understand the bigger picture behind the crisis. What is BLA, the Balochistan Liberation Army? Where is Balochistan and why is it important to Pakistan? The Balochistan Liberation Army is the strongest of several insurgent groups who have been operating for a long time in the province bordering Afghanistan and Iran. The BLA seeks independence for Balochistan, a province located in Pakistan's southwest and bordering Afghanistan to the north and Iran to the west. Balochistan's mountainous border region serves as a safe haven and training ground for the Baloch insurgents. Once considered a low-intensity insurgency, attacks by the Baloch Liberation Army have grown more frequent, coordinated and lethal in recent years. The group had numbed Pakistan's security establishment in 2022 when it stormed army and navy bases. In August 2024, Pakistan said that Baloch militants carried out coordinated attacks across Balochistan. And last year, in March 2025, militants opened fire on the Jafar Express passenger train after sabotaging railway tracks and briefly taking hostages and triggering a major security operation. The BLA often targets infrastructure and security forces in Balochistan, but has also struck in other areas, notably the southern port city of Karachi. The insurgents target Pakistan's army and Chinese interests, in particular the strategic port of Gwadar on the Arabian Sea. The largest and most sparsely populated province in Pakistan, Balochistan spans over 44% of Pakistan's total landmass, making it slightly larger than Germany. It is a region with a distinct cultural and historical identity. Its capital, Quetta, is renowned as the fruit garden of Pakistan due to its vast fertile orchards producing top-tier fruits, including apples, grapes, cherries, and nuts. Balochistan takes its name from the Baloch tribe, who began inhabiting the area centuries ago and has long been fought over and divided by rulers, including the Persians and the British. The largest portion of the region is in southwestern Pakistan, which was joined in 1948, 7 months after independence. Balochistan is bordered by Iran in the west, by Afghanistan in northwest, by Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and Punjab provinces in northeast and east respectively, by Sindh province in the southeast, and by the Arabian Sea in the south. The region was historically influenced by Persian, Greek, and Indus Valley civilizations before becoming a largely autonomous princely state of Kalat, later passing under British influence and finally establishing as a separate province in its present form in 1970. The Baloch and Pashtun or Pathan people constitute the two major and more distinct ethnic groups, and the Sindhi forms the third major group. Balochi, Brahui, Pashto, and Sindhi are the main languages.
And how Balochistan came into this equation is this little piece of buffer zone that the British created, it had no resources. So it had to acquire land for its vast population, the Punjabi Muslims, and resources to feed this vast population. And therefore, Jinnah comes into play. Jinnah was the devil's advocate, the colonial powers, and he was our advocate too. He double-crossed the Baloch and occupied Balochistan 9 months after our liberation, or our freedom, or our sovereignty. We have been around for almost 11,000 years. And Pakistan is just a newly created buffer country. And we are expected to call ourselves Pakistanis.
Balochistan has a long history of resistance against the government of Pakistan. Since Pakistan's birth, Baloch ethnic factions have, time and again, risen against the central government. They've sought more autonomy, a larger share of the country's wealth, or even complete independence. The people of Balochistan had long felt their region was neglected in terms of development and political representation, fueling resentment towards the ruling establishment. In response to the militant insurgency, Pakistan's military, paramilitary and intelligence forces have overseen a long-running counterinsurgency and crackdown on the region, with tens of thousands of people disappeared or tortured or killed. Each insurrection has been met with military force, temporary quiet and ultimately unaddressed issues. Balochistan, Pakistan's largest province by area, holds major strategic importance because of its location and access to the Arabian Sea. This geography makes the province a key gateway for regional trade and connectivity. The deep-sea port at Gwadar, developed under the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor or CPEC, is positioned as a hub linking China, Central Asia and West Asia, strengthening Pakistan's role in global trade and energy routes. The province is also rich in natural resources. Reportedly, Balochistan holds significant reserves of natural gas, coal, copper, gold and rare earth minerals. This combination of strategic location and resource wealth makes the province vital for Pakistan's economic and security interests. Not just Pakistan, even the US and China have significant interests in Balochistan. On the 10th of December last year, the US announced a $1.25 billion investment to support the mining of critical minerals, including gold and copper, at Reko Dik in Pakistan's remote Chagai district. Before that, USSM, a Missouri-based firm, signed a $500 million MOU with Pakistan's Frontier Works Organization to explore the extraction and refining of rare earths, particularly in Balochistan, which holds Pakistan's largest rare earth reserves. And for China, the stakes are higher. Balochistan is a central pillar of the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, a flagship component of Beijing's Belt and Road Initiative. The project is anchored in the development of the deep water port at Gwadar and a road and rail network linking the Arabian Sea to Xinjiang through Balochistan. In the past few months, Balochistan has witnessed several large-scale protests. These protests over enforced disappearances and killings of the Baloch people swamped Pakistan last year, from Quetta to Islamabad to Karachi. Despite its rich natural resources and strategic location, Balochistan remains one of Pakistan's most underdeveloped and poor regions. The current insurgency in Pakistan gained its momentum in the early 2000s. Over the years, a severe crackdown by Pakistani authorities on the rebellion has resulted in the killing of thousands of Baloch people. In 2024, Pakistan experienced one of the most violent years in over a decade as it grappled with rising militancy from Baloch separatists and the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan or TTP. Massive protests have taken place in and around the port city in the past, opposing China's Belt and Road Initiative. Their discontent with China's presence in the region has been growing every day. People have come together fearing threats to their livelihoods, particularly from illegal fishing. The Baloch people have complained that several licenses have been issued to Chinese trawlers to fish in the waters off the coast, giving no space to their small boats. The city is also home to many Chinese citizens who are working on the construction of the port and several other infrastructure projects. In August 2023, 23 Chinese engineers in Gwadar came under heavy attack claimed by the Majid Brigade of the BLA. Though the Baloch militants were killed by security forces, the message was made very clear to Beijing. In August 2025, huge protest camps were set up in Quetta following the death of 17-year-old Ehsan Syed, who was shot dead by the Pakistani forces. The teenager's mother set up the protests, accusing Pakistani security forces of shielding the perpetrators. According to the Baloch Committee, the protests faced harassment and intimidation, and many others were detained by the Quetta police. According to Amnesty International, many Baloch activists were detained and taken by the counter-terrorism department officials from their homes in Quetta on the 20th of March 2025, after a press conference at the Quetta Press Club. 2 days later, Baloch Committee's leader, Mahrang Baloch, was also detained by Pakistani forces. Mahrang in the past have led the 2023-24 Baloch Long March, which mobilized thousands against state-sanctioned abuses. Mahrang Baloch has also been in detention for almost a year now, facing charges related to terrorism-related offenses and sedition. Although cleared in one case in Karachi, due to lack of evidence, she remains imprisoned. Recently, former Balochistan Chief Minister Akhtar Mengal delivered a scathing assessment of the situation in the province. Addressing a prominent conference in Lahore, he said coexistence with Pakistan was no longer viable and suggested peaceful separation as the only option left. Mengal said repeated attempts to subdue dissent through military operations, arrests and enforced disappearances had only deepened the divide between the Federation and Baloch citizens. Quoting revolutionary poet Habib Jalib, he remarked that Balochistan was not simply burning, but had already been reduced to ashes.
Balochistan has gone beyond the point of no return. This is the ground reality. Pakistan's administration is responsible for digging the graves of Baloch people. Pakistan and Balochistan can no longer live together. Peaceful separation is the only option left.
Balochistan lives with profound contradictions. As Pakistan's largest province by area, it is its least developed and least populous. It is also a land of immense natural wealth, yet it suffers from poverty, neglect and conflict. The paradox facing Balochistan is glaring. Balochistan has become too economically significant to be ignored, not only by Pakistan but also by major global players. Yet it remains so politically marginalized. Unless this is addressed, the black storm invoked by the BLA may only deepen further, possibly engulfing the entire province in the turmoil.